I'd always been a crazy dreamer. Even when I was in high school, like my friends would always make fun of me for like waking up and like talking in my sleep, or like even like jumping out of bed onto the floor, or I always had very, very active dreaming. But it wasn't until my 20s that I actually started to have dreams that came true. One night I had this dream about one of my best friends being in a terrible car crash. It was so real that when I woke up, actually, no, sorry, she wasn't in a car crash. In the dream, she was climbing. She was climbing a rock wall, but she didn't have any ropes or anything attached to her. And I was like watching from above, and I saw her fall from the rock wall. It looked really bad. And it was so scary that when I woke up, I believed it was true, and I called her on the phone. And she was getting ready to go to university, and she laughed at me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And that afternoon, on the way home from class, when she was driving home, a car came into her lane and hit her head on. And she told me, like, the last thing I could think about when that car was coming towards me was your dream. Anyway, it was a serious accident. She was in the hospital for a long time, and but she is okay. Then after that, I had another couple like smaller incidental dreams. One about a coworker. Anyway, I had no understanding or reason why this was happening, but I was curious, and so I started to sort of look into roots of spirituality. And that Christmas, my Aunt Kay gave me my first tarot deck, which my only tarot deck. I have lots of tarot decks, but the only one I actually use is the same one I was given. When I started to learn about tarot, there was all kinds of different ways that the cards spoke to you. There was astrology in the cards, there was numerology in the cards, there were animal in the cards. Yeah, all these sort of different modes of spirituality. And so I began to study all the different things. And I think it's important to tell people that I studied spirituality for at least 10 years, if not more, before I realized I was studying my spirit. Like, I thought spirituality was outside of me. I had no idea.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't realize
right.
that I didn't make that connection, right? So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I had no idea. It wasn't until 2010 when I took Reiki, I took Introduction to Energy, that I began to realize, oh shit, like, so I have a spirit. Now, I laugh at myself, but there's so many people that don't realize this, right? Like, now, whenever I do a tarot reading, the first thing I say to people is, do you know that you have a spirit? And
Mm,
some people do, and some people don't. And I'm like, do you know that it's always with you? When people pass, they always say, oh, their spirit lives on. But we hardly ever think about spirit in our lives when we're living, right? It's always like about being past. Yeah,
right.
there's that quote that says, we are spirits having a physical experience, sort of thing, right? Not humans having a spiritual experience. Yeah. I basically thought that for those years, so basically from those dreams until 2010, I was learning about spirituality, but not practicing it as according to myself. And in the meantime, I thought that I had like weird superpowers because like crazy things were happening. Like I was having dreams that were coming true. Numbers would follow me. Animals were like speaking to me. They would show up in totems, basically. People came into my life at certain times, or I would dream of people and they would appear. And I didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I took Reiki that I realized that this weird superpower is actually my spirit. And I'm not alone. We all have one. and, and it's always trying to speak to us. It's just we have to acknowledge it and know that it's there, for one. And also, our spirit is very subtle. It is never going to push us, it is never going to chastise us or make us do anything. It will only subtly guide us. And so it uses all of these things in the world, all of these different energies to communicate with us. all of the things that actually are in tarot are also in our lives. And our spirit is trying to talk to us every day with those things, with animals, with numbers, with colors, with people. Knowing that was very exciting. And then wanting to share that with the world is even more exciting. Yeah, I'm not religious. I've actually never even been religious. I wasn't really, I don't want to say allowed, but it wasn't put
How you
into my path as a child. As a result of that, I was very interested in religion, and I experimented or, shared with a lot of different religions, or religions shared with me. I different friends. I mean, I've gone to Hindu classes, and I've gone to Catholic school, and I've gone to see a Protestant Bible camp, and I've been to a Mormon church, and I'm very interested in all of those aspects of spirituality. And I really liked to, I don't know, I picked what I wanted from all of those religions, the best things, like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, holding hands before you say, I don't do that, but I like that. And I would do it if my family would participate with me. I really liked participating with others and seeing how they showed their faith. I found that really nice, especially the wholesome things, the things that aren't wholesome, like you have to do it this way or else you're a sinner, never really floated my boat.
yeah.
And this, I mean, everybody has a spirit. It doesn't have to be religious, but at the same time, I am not here to convince you of it. I'm here to guide you if you're interested. But just like spirit, I want to teach this information the same way the spirit taught it to me, not pushy, not aggressive. If you're interested, here's what I have. If not, that's okay. You're still perfect the way you are.